Have a nice day to you, everyone. This is Anand Raj from PG and Research Department of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence. I am here to explain the topic of architecture of expert system. This is the subject of introduction of AI. The subject code is AI 204 and the unit is 5. So let's move to the topic. This is the table of content of architecture of an expert system. The first one is expert system cell and the second one is knowledge engineering. These are the types of expert system of architecture. This is a architecture of an expert system. First, we give the explanation of architecture of expert system is the knowledge base contain the specific domain knowledge that is used by an expert to derive conclusion from facts. This is this is what we told is the specific domain knowledge that is used to the expert and derive the conclusion from the facts. Facts is given the description and or the problem. If you give the problem means they will give the solution and they will give the representation of the solution and how to solve the solution. That is known as a facts. Second one is in case of a rule based expert system, this domain knowledge is expressed in the form of series of rules. That is, if you give the it is a rule based expert system means there is a condition, there is a certain rules are there for expert system. It get the domain knowledge and express it in the form of series of rules. And the third one is the expert system provides information of the user about how the inference engine arrived at the conclusion. That is, the expert system which gives the information to the user and it will gives the inference engine to arrive to the conclusion. That is, it give the conclusion and how it works and how it may be used and how it give the information to the users. And the next one is this can be often be essential, particularly if the advice being given is of a critical nature, such as with the medical diagnosis system. That is, for particular thing, for particular advice, it will give the critical nature. That means the medical diagnosis system, like that, for example, as a medical diagnosis system, it gives the essential and particular advice to the user from the expert system. And fourth one is if the system has used faulty reasoning to arrive at its conclusion. Then the user may be able to see this by examining the data given by the expert system. In this point, what they told means if the system give the faulty reason or wrong information to the conclusion means it will give the output as the wrong way. So that the time also we need to examine the data which is given by the expert system is correct or wrong. We have to examine and we have to give the data is good or bad means we have to examine and give it to the expert system. And fifth one is the fact database contains the case specific data that are to be used in a particular case to derive the conclusion. In fact database are there. In the fact database it shows it contains the case specific data, that is lowercase, uppercase, and what is the specific oriented, that will give the case specific data. It can be used in the particular case to derive the conclusion. It will give the value of which it has to be a good way they will give the conclusion. In the case of a medical expert system, this would contain information that had been obtained about the patient condition. In medical expert system, in the way of medical side or a healthcare side, to give the certain information, they give the contain information to the patient condition. If we give the patient condition mean they will give the solution and how we to do and how we to examine and how we to work and how to treat the patient, how to treat the operation, like that. In the healthcare side, it will give the expert system will be gone. This is the expert system architecture. In this expert system, there are two things are the fact database and knowledge database. These two databases are moved to the user. In the user, there is some process are there. That is expert system shell is there. What it has to be done means inference engine, explanation system, knowledge base register. These things are moved to the user interface and it will goes to the user. This inference engine means it will be used as a inference to the fact database and the user. The explanation system, it will be give the explanation of the user interface, what we give and what we run and how it work and how it move It will give the explanation to the conclusion. That is, it give the user to the conclusion and what the process will be done. And third one is knowledge based editor. Knowledge based editor means it will be stored in the data. That data has been good or bad, it will cross check and give the knowledge based data to the user interface. These things all are moved to the user interface only. What it shows means the user of the expert system interfaces with it through a user interface, which provides access to the inference engine, the expert system, and the knowledge base editor. Which means the user of expert system intervenes to the user interface, which provide the inference engine, expert system, and knowledge base editor. Already we see in the architecture of expert system. The inference engine is the part of the system that uses the rules and the facts of derived the conclusions. The inference engine will use forward chaining, backward chaining, or a combination of two to make inferences from the data that are available to it. That means in the inference engine it will be used as a forward and backward chaining, or in the combination of make inference with the user interface and the data. The inference engine is moved to the rules, and rules have the rules and give the fact to derive the conclusions on it. And we see that the second thing is the expert system shell. In this expert system shell, we need to note that the part of the expert system that do not contain domain specific or case specific information are contained within the expert system shell. It won't accept that domain specific and case specific. The shell is a general toolkit that can be used to build a number of different expert systems depending on which the knowledge base is added into the shell. The shell is generally has a toolkit. Toolkit means there is some of the tool or website or like that. It can be build a number of different expert systems that depending on the knowledge which is based on the base is added to the shell. It has some examples of export system shells are CLIPS. CLIPS means C language integrated production system. That is, it is used by the C language. And other example of common use of include as OPS5, ART, JES, and Eclipse. These are the coding language of the expert system. In this coding language only, they can be used as to give the expert system shells. And the third one is knowledge engineering. In knowledge engineering is a vital part of development of any expert system. It is a vital part when it is the backbone of expert system. That is knowledge engineering. Knowledge engineering does not need to have expert domain knowledge, but does need to know how to convert such expertise into the rules that the system will use, preferably in an efficient manner. In an efficient manner, the system will use the rules and convert on the how to convert the such expertise. This type only the knowledge engineering has been used. Hence, the knowledge engineer's main task is communicating with the expert in order to understand fully how the expert goes about evaluating evidence and what method he or she used to derive the conclusion. This knowledge engineering has the main task to communicate with the expert, that is, how to understand the full concept and how the expert will evaluate the evidence and which method and what method he or she to derive the conclusion. This is the knowledge engineering. The last thing is having build up a good understanding of the rules and expert uses to draw conclusion. The knowledge engineer must encoded these rules in the expert system shell language. This is being used for the task. This thing is how the expert system it will be how to use the knowledge engineering in the good understanding. It gives the first one is what are the rules in expert system. It will be first understand the rules and to use a draw the conclusions and to the expert system. And the knowledge engineer must encode these rules to the expert system shell language. The knowledge engineer must encode the system to the expert system shell language. That is predefinitely we see that in the C language, integrated programming language. This is being to be used for the task. This everything has been done in the architecture of expert system. Thank you.